Hola and welcome to Lindita's Kitchen. I am Lindita. Today we're making Mexican pizza like no other. It's so unique and different, and you're gonna see what I'm talking about. So we're gonna get started right away with our sauce, and use your pizza sauce. You can use whatever you want. 14 ounces, that's all you need. 14 ounces of your pizza sauce, and we're gonna add Linditas. I'm adding the mild 1 ounce pack, and this is what's in the sauce. The secret's in the sauce. Yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna mix this up. And again, you can get Linditas on linditasalsa.com with all our recipes as well. And so we're gonna mix this up just like that. And now we're gonna start with our chorizo. So let's head over. Okay, so before we get started on our chorizo, I just want to let you know I've already gone ahead and set my ovens at 350. Okay, you can preheat those and get them ready to go. And then I've kind of started my little skillet here at like a low, like a medium heat right now. We're gonna start cooking up our chorizo. I have left this out. I did put it out just to kind of get it room temperature so it breaks up real easy. And you just want to do the small little bites. And this is a half a pound of the chorizo. And if you like big chunks, Okay, so now that we have all our chorizo in, we're gonna go ahead and just put a cover on it, put the lid on it for a couple of minutes, and then we'll just rotate them, toss them around. So this has been cooking up for just a couple minutes, and now we're gonna start flipping it. Just turn them over because they're all cooked. You want to just get them nice and brown. There you go. Cover it up, let them cook for another couple minutes, and they'll be ready to go. These are pretty much cooked. You don't want to overcook them, so I'm gonna go ahead and just turn it off and put them on a towel to kind of drain some of the oil, grease, I guess, the chorizo, oil. And we're ready to start on our pizza dough. So now it's time to make our masa, and that is our pizza dough. Okay, so before I get started on that, we need to take off some of this jewelry. I know, as much as I love it, it's a good time to remove all your jewelry. I'll put them on later, okay? Because it doesn't go well with the masa. Just saying. Okay, so now that we've got our masa, I'm using 4 cups. You'll need 4 cups for this recipe, and it's the unbleached flour. That's what my mom used to use. Actually, it was like the meadow gold, and it's still out there because that's what I'm using for this recipe. And we're gonna add 3 teaspoons of our salt. Now the salt, you don't use a kosher, you wanna just use the table salt. So we wanna sprinkle that in, and then 3 teaspoons of your baking powder. Again. And guess what? You're gonna need 4 tablespoons of the lard. And you know what I found out? That lard is actually better for you than the shortening. Just saying, okay? So we're gonna toss this in here. All right, there's 4 tablespoons. I know it sounds like a lot, but guess what we need to do? And of course, I'm using 2 cups of the water here, and it's actually kind of hot. And that's what you want because you have the manteca in here, you know, the lard. So you want to kind of mix this up really well into your dough, into your flour. This is a great recipe, like I said, for your fresh tortillas, but we're using it for our pizza dough. That's what makes it so unique. So I'm actually, mix it up, kind of. Yeah, you can use both hands here. Yeah. just like that. We're gonna add, and I did put a little bit over 2 cups of the hot water just in case I need it. And you know, sometimes you just need a little bit more, you'll have it on hand. So we're gonna pour it in, start mixing it up. Yeah. I'm gonna leave just a little bit in there just in case, okay? And I also have some flour on the side too. So sometimes if it gets a little too sticky, you wanna add a little bit more flour, okay? So now we're gonna mix this up. Oh, it's nice and soft. Yeah, my mom used to make like 10 pounds worth of tortillas, and that's why their arms were like, híjole, didn't mess with her, with any of us. Yeah. So see how sticky it is? Okay, so you want to make sure that the flour, you mix the flour really good in here. Just give it a couple of minutes. Yeah. Actually, it's looking pretty good. You have to keep, Okay, now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just remove this. You wanna get all the flour, all the dough, the masa off your bowl. Clean it nice and good. And I'm gonna add a little bit more flour because it is a little sticky. So just add a little bit more in there. That's all you'll need. And we're gonna knead it. Oh, we got away there. Whoa. Okay, I'm gonna move this aside. Now we're gonna just knead this until it's nice and mixed up and full. Oh. Poquito más. Because you don't want it to stick all over your fingers just like that. So let's go ahead and just keep kneading it. Give it like 3 to 5 minutes. Put it right in. Slap that baby. Hey, you gotta have fun, right? Okay, it's looking good. Now this time, we're gonna let it rest for about, 5 to 8 minutes. It doesn't really matter. As long as you cover it up, we're gonna go ahead and toss it back in our bowl, just like that. And let it rest. We're gonna cover it up. Okay. Now, I'm gonna clean this off because I'm gonna be chopping up some of our toppings. Okay. And now for our toppings. I've got my chorizo kind of chilling out over there. My sauce, ooh, it's waiting to get spread. And then now I'm gonna just chop up some of my toppings, and I'm gonna use the onion, of course. I'm using the yellow onion. So I'm gonna go ahead and just, yeah. We're gonna dice up some onion. I'm gonna just chop it up a little bit more because I'm gonna be making, actually I'm making 2 pieces for you. I know, surprise. 2 different types and 2 different styles of pizza. So now, let's just put this all in. Oh, let me just dump it right in there. Scoop the rest. Set this aside, Now my bell pepper. You know, I'm gonna take the head off, and of course, we're gonna go ahead and just toss. I'm gonna just toss that out. Didn't have my little bowl. So we're gonna go ahead and just thinly slice. And then we'll cut them up a little later. Oh no, I'll cut them up right away. I'm gonna use about a half as well. So, just let's go ahead. I'm gonna dice up a little bit more because I do love, you know, pizza is so colorful anyway. And with the bell pepper, you can use a red pepper for like more of a sweeter as well. So I do happen to have some, but I like the green. Just chop them up a little bit. Okay? Wow. And of course, you gotta have a tomato in there, a medium-sized tomato. I'm gonna go ahead and take off the little cabecita, put it on the side, and we'll dice this up as well. You can use as much as you want or as less as you, I mean, you know, like I always say, it's totally up to you. And we love tomatoes. We love tomatoes in this house, and this recipe calls for it. So you gotta have it. So let's set this aside. Go ahead and just dice it up a little bit more. I like them on the bigger chunk. Just like this. All right. So all our toppings, and I do have a jalapeno. You gotta have a jalapeno, no? I mean, you don't, but if, let's just say, you like it a little on the spicy side, you wanna go ahead and use a jalapeno. And of course, I'm gonna, well, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna take off and just thinly. And for your guests later, I'm gonna put this on the pizza, but you can just chop them up a little bit more and then just spread them over the top, you know, for a topping. Okay. And of course, like I said, the seeds, if you don't want it too hot, you can take them out. I think that should be good enough for me. Okay. Way to go. Just toss them right in. I think my masa is ready to spread. So put this aside and let's get it going. Our masa has been resting for about 8 to 10 minutes, give or take, and it sure looks beautiful. Oh, let me just get it out of the bowl. Oh, mira, it's nice and soft, beautiful, perfect. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just take a portion of this, because I'm gonna make another pizza as well, a little vegetarian one. So I'm gonna just take some of this, and I wanna save some as well for my tortillas. So you can have fresh tortillas in the morning, no? Okay, so I'm gonna set that back there. And now I'm gonna go ahead and roll it. So you wanna use a little flour on your palote, we call it. It's a rolling pin, no? And we're gonna just roll it out. And this little mat that I got, this silicone mat, I actually picked this up at Costco, and it was a Christmas present for my kids. Thank you, Ian and Shelby. Yes, thank you so much. And you can also probably pick this up at like an Amazon, which is great. It's great to have in the kitchen, I'll tell you what. So I'm gonna stretch this out. You can make it round. You can put it into like a football. I mean, it doesn't have to be any specific size or shape. As you can tell, I'm just using all the edges here. And I just go around. the tortilla dough. That's what it is. So now I'm just gonna tuck the corners in a little bit like that, because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually put it on the baking sheet here. And this is gonna be the fun part, so hang in there with me. Okay, so we're gonna put it right on here. Oh, let's see if it maintains its shape. Well, not quite, but you know what? We're gonna do it. We're gonna spread it out a little bit. Yeah, the trick, just stretch it. I used to work at a pizza joint when I was growing up at Maria's Pizza in Harvard, Illinois, believe it or not. Had a lot of fun memories there. I never learned how to really toss it, okay? But I worked there for a summer and it was wonderful. Harvard, Illinois. Okay, just like that. Look how beautiful this looks. This is what you want. And if you want it a little thinner, you can go ahead and just roll it out a little bit more. We're gonna get ready start with our sauce, our pizza sauce. And of course, you know, I added Linditas. It's got all the seasonings. So we're just gonna add our sauce. Spread it around just like that. I'm gonna save some for my other pizza, and also, it's also for dipping sauce. And you'll see what I'm talking about when we close the show. So you don't want to go too far in the edges because you want the crust to kind of get brown, and that's all you'll need, you know, to kind of see that it's done. It's gonna get nice and brown, golden brown. Okay. And if you like I do like a lot of sauce. And we're gonna start with our cheese, and I'm using the 4-blend cheese, Mexican cheese. And it's kind of like the rustic cut. Pick it up at your grocery store. And this was about a little over a cup, you know, the cheese. But I'm gonna add a little bit more on the top, as you'll see. Okay. Then we're gonna add our chorizo. And it's about a cup of chorizo. Here we go. Maybe I'm gonna add a little bit more cheese on the bottom here, just to cover it up. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna use all of it. I do like cheese in my pizza. Don't you? Yeah. Now our chorizo. So I used about a cup, you know, half a pound of the chorizo. And, you know, and again, you know, if you've got somebody who doesn't want it, you just do half. It doesn't have to be the whole thing, but we love our chorizo in this familia. And you're gonna love it too. So we're gonna add our chorizo. Use all of it. Okay, and now our bell pepper, and you know, you can chop it up if you want, but I like mine thin sliced, just like that. Make it real pretty. The color is just amazing. I know food, you gotta have color in your food. Okay, so we're gonna throw a little bit. I'm gonna save some for my vegetarian pizza. Okay. And let's see. Onions. You gotta have onions. So sprinkle as much as you want. I did do like almost a full onion, and I'm gonna use it also on my other pizza as well. So I'm gonna save some of it up. And then our tomato. Mira el color. Look how beautiful that looks. And it's gonna melt right in your mouth. Yeah, Mexican pizza. You know, it's made with the masa, and that's what makes it so unique. And the sauce, it's different. It's not like your typical, you know, pizza that you buy. This you make on your own. Have your family join you. Yeah. And of course, you know, you can add a little bit of jalapeno in there to give it that little spice. And I'm just gonna put some around the edges. One in the middle. And then I'm gonna go ahead and sprinkle this with my Mexican oregano. Just gives it that extra touch. Yeah. Okay, and then let's see. Oh, and I've got some Mexican cheese, just a real fine cheese that we're gonna just top, just on the top, real light. And you can add some more after it cooks a little bit. When you serve it up, you can do that too. Okay. So now it's ready to go in the oven. So I'm gonna put this in the oven. It's been preheating for like, it's at 350. So we're gonna toss that in there and it's gonna go for 25 minutes. And you'll just check and you'll see once the edges are golden brown, it's ready to rock. Okay, I'm gonna go toss it in. So I have my Mexican pizza in the oven right now, and now we're gonna do the skillet pizza. And it's my vegetarian pizza. So I'm gonna take a little bit, it's kind of like for like a big tortilla because it's gonna fill the whole comal. All right, maybe a little bit less. All right, so, and this is the size that you want. And again, I'm gonna go ahead and add a little flour to my palote. Your rolling pin. I'm gonna roll this baby out. Like I said, this is gonna be a thicker one as well, so I'm gonna just stretch it out a little bit more. Again, this is for pizza, like I said. When you do the tortillas, usually you'll see, I'll show you, I'll give you a little sample here in a little bit. So what I'm gonna do with this, actually I'm gonna just, this is what you want to do when you're making your tortillas. Okay, you'll flip it again and roll it out. It can be any shape. I know my moms were always perfect. They were perfectly round. Mine aren't, as you can tell. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is, now that this is gonna be for my skillet pizza, my vegetarian pizza, I'm gonna go ahead and take it and toss it on my comal. Okay, let's flip it right on there. Woo! We're gonna let that cook, and once it starts to bubble up a little bit, you'll see as it's coming through, and it's cooking on one end, one side, and let it go for like, I don't know, 30 seconds. As you can see, it's starting to do its thing. I'm gonna flip it, and again, you can use little clippers. I use my fingers. This is the way we do it. Many years of experience, I guess. So we're gonna let that cook up. Okay, so it's ready to go on this skillet. I'm gonna bring it over. Oh, look how beautiful it is. The aromas are just amazing. Okay, let's bring it over. And as you know, there is an inside and there's an outside. And this is how you can tell. That's all I can tell you. And again, if it's a little thick, it's also gonna cook up a little bit more in the oven, so don't worry about that. The thicker, you know, if you want it a little thicker, go for it. And again, we're gonna go ahead and add our sauce. And the skillet, as you know, we're just gonna toss it back into the oven at 350. And this is only gonna cook for like about 7 to 8 minutes, and just keep your eye on it, because once the cheese melts on top, it's ready to rock. Perfect. Whoop. Okay, so now we're gonna add our cheese. And again, I'm using the Mexican cheese blend, and it's the rustic cut. It's real thick. It's a thicker cut. And I'm gonna add black olives. Like I said, this is vegetarian, and you know, you can switch them both out. If you want to do this as a Mexican and do the bigger one, you know, as a vegetarian, it's your call. And we've got plenty of dough too. So the masa, you know, I'm gonna show you a little bit. Once I get this popped in, I'll show you just a little technique to make your tortillas. Okay. And again, Mr. Lindita, that's my husband, Michael. Mr. Lindita, he loves, this is one of his favorites too. I guess he likes all of my food, you know. He's, yeah, can't go wrong. And again, we're gonna add our onion. Some bell. Oop. A couple of slices in there, just like that. A little tomato. A little jalapeno. And again, you don't have to put them on there. You know, we do like our jalapeno. I'm just gonna go a little light. And then I'm gonna sprinkle it again with a little bit of the Mexican oregano. Voila. That is it. Now this is gonna go in the oven, like I said, at 350 for about 7 to 8 minutes. So everything should probably come out at the same time here in a little bit. All right, so let's just toss this in. Oh yeah, it is ready. Beautiful. Let's pop it up here. That's our Mexican pizza. Turn that off. Now I'm gonna go do my skillet, and that one's ready to go. How pretty is that? Oh yeah. Mexican pizza is like no other, as you saw. Look how easy this was to prepare. And not just that, you learn how to make tortillas, the masa. And that was my family recipe as well. So, you know, look what you can make. And we did the vegetarian, you know, the skillet pizza, and how easy that was. And our dipping sauce. And with my tortillas, you know, I did make a bunch, and I did make them for my chips. And they're nice and crunchy and so delicious. So I know you're gonna enjoy it. Serve it up with a little salad and some wine and enjoy. And I just wanna say thank you to my viewers for enjoying all our recipes. I hope you're enjoying all our recipes. And again, to order Linditas, just go right to linditasalsa.com, and we always ship free. So to keep that in mind. And until then, I hope you enjoy, and salud, mis amigos. Until next time.